Twitch is 100% not that way. Not only by watching a stream are you able to look at someone and say, okay, this is the type of content they do, my brand game product would fit into their lifestyle or to their community or to their style, but you also can see how many concurrent viewers they're getting over a certain amount of time. If they switch games, okay, you can learn that viewer base likes this game but they don't like this type of game. You can learn a lot about a broadcaster by watching their stream just for an hour. Just get to know them a little bit, and not only will you get those metrics, but you'll get the concurrence, which is a lot better indicator to how dedicated their audience is, right? If you see
you also get what kind of streamer they are. Are they an entertainer? Are they like a hardcore? So
right. And in addition to that, what do you guys think is an important takeaway from that, right? So not only just from the numbers, right, the concurrence or the followers or whatever. Nope. But also how many sponsored streams they're doing, right? There's a lot of times that there will be people that'll do a lot of sponsored streams in a row, and they start to lose their efficacy with selling a product because they're doing it. Now there are people that can do tons and tons and tons of sponsored stuff and never lose anything. What is that like for you guys working kind of in that space of doing lots of brand deals, and how do you space it out, and when do you say yes or no because of your schedule or because of how honest you think you can sell that product?
Right, I mean, at least for me, like when you get a lot of offers to do something, you want to space it out so that you can do a good job for the brand. You want to feel good about the work that you do and you represent the brand. So if it makes sense, I have a lot of travel going on, I'm just not able to do my research, play the game ahead of time, and to really do a good job. I have to say no when it makes sense. I'd love to do it, or if it doesn't make sense for some person, some reason, just have to willing to say no sometimes.
For sure. Also, another thing that is becoming, and especially for me, has kind of evolved over time, is really figuring out, and this is different before I say this, for every single broadcaster. Every broadcaster is a different way to do this. But for me, it was figuring out what do I say yes to and what do I say no to. I, as pretty much everyone on this panel I can say safely, have turned down easily 20 offers to every one I accept.
Yeah.
And that is because we need to know that what we represent is going to be genuine. Now this also ties back to perspective though. A lot of people see Twitch streamers as people that they can trust, that are always genuine, that are always giving 100% honesty and truthfulness in their casts. Another way to look at broadcasters on Twitch is like actors. Actors get paid to promote stuff all the time. Why shouldn't Twitch streamers? It doesn't mean they're necessarily attached to that company or anything, so why not do that? It all depends on the perspective you take, and they're all right. There's no real wrong ones. For me personally, I decided to only do things that I either use or am interested in. So that's made it super easy for my sponsored casts. And I think most Twitch streamers do that. I'm only going to sponsor or do a sponsored stream for a game I'm going to have fun playing. When I was first doing my broadcasts, I first started getting my sponsored stream requests, I didn't really have that line there. So, at one point I took a sponsored stream for a mobile MOBA.
It went great. He loved it.
So, all streamers have to kind of feel that out. But really going right back to the beginning, picking stuff that aligns with your channel, stuff that you can show off in a positive light because you're going to have a good time playing it. Not, oh, I guess I could have fun with this. Hey, I'm going to check this out anyway. Or I'm going to play it anyway. Like the Rainbow Six deal. I play Rainbow Six all the time. Anytime a new patch comes out, I would jump back in and check out the operators and maps. So when they came to me, I was like, you want to pay me for a game I play anyway?
Sure.
Super. That works for me. That works for you because I do a few extra things. Everyone's happy that works out. So it's really just kind of deciding, again, from your perspective, every streamer is going to be different, but doing that even 20 minutes of watching them, hearing them talk about what they like, hearing about what they don't like, and kind of aligning it with that can make these kind of projects, these PR projects, be so much more successful than just going on followers or numbers or views or any of that.
And I'm going to tack something onto that. The fastest way that I will reject doing a sponsorship is if they ask me to give them a favorable review.
Absolutely.
Do not ask me to lie to my audience right off the bat. That's not what I'm about. That's not what a lot of us are about. And it's just bad form. We don't respond well to it. We want to have the freedom to grab your game and play it and go, all right, this sucks, this is great. Or this all sucks, or this is all great. And feel that and not feel obligated contractually to go, wow, guys, this is so cool. Because like Ko said, you might see it as like an actor and that's all well and good. But if you get right down to it, the reason this works is because, like I said at the beginning of my intro, 3 years ago, I was just a guy who played video games, and people trust that. People can look at Brad Pitt and they don't know who Brad Pitt is. You know, Brad Pitt does that. You know, you don't know who he is at the end of the day. But we get in front of you and we're in front of you in a very personal way every day. So your trust in us is very important, and we would never want to betray that trust. So as people in the industry, if you're coming forward to us, don't ask us to lie about your product if we don't, because not only will that look bad on you and look bad on me, but the chat will know before we do that something's up, okay? They watch you every single day, and if you're disingenuous for even a second, they'll be like, oh, this is bullshit.
Well, that actually happened to me like 3 years ago, I think it was my first sponsored stream ever, and they said, don't say anything negative. Not just give it a favorable, don't say anything negative. It was a game that was in like open beta, and I played it. I was like, okay, I'll do it. It was my first time, I learned my lesson. And it's like, I can't even just say like, yo, this is broken. No, can't say anything negative. It is broken. It's like, okay, so like I would break the contract if I said something like that, or this move sucks. Why would you give this move? It doesn't make sense. Even if it's like the game overall I loved. No, but in my audience very much picked up on the fact that they knew I couldn't talk. I'm a very vocal person. I'm not going to sit there and say, you know, this game is the worst ever, never play it. No, I'm going to be professional, but I should be allowed to talk about it.
And don't be afraid, because most of the people in this room are probably not representing Ubisoft, but I'm going to use them as an example again. I'm waiting for one guy to say like, well, we know we're not working.
Jericho,
Black
you're
now.
fights here.
Yeah, no, this one's a good one, I promise. This one's great.
He's never gonna get a deal again.
Hashtag Jericho
Doing it
first
for you.
Ubisoft.
If they